All right. So I'll not take much time, and I got a lovely team here, and I got a very young boy along with us as well, Sunil Surohi. Okay. Analytics is empowered now these days. If I talk for any vertical, if I talk for insurance, if I talk for the bank, if I talk for sports, if I talk for any vertical, their analytics is required. But beyond that, there are people, they are basically helping analytics enable and make successful. So let's hear the story from them. We got 5 people in the panel, and they are the champions. They are hands-on. They worked on analytics and deployed multiple times. So let's hear the story from them. So I like to understand first thing from Mukesh. He's from TPG Group. Now these days, a lot of e-commerce thing is coming, and being a retail company, how you are looking analytic potential in that area?
We are largely brick and mortar right now. TPG Wholesale is not really known. Our brand is Vishal Mega Mart. We are a retail player, and certainly we will venture into e-commerce now. Your question is on analytics on e-commerce. I think to do e-commerce without analytics is almost impossible in today's date. Let me take my example of our brick and mortar space, where we've got 150 stores. Just to give you a perspective, we launched our loyalty program, which is being in play now almost for 2 years. Today we've got about 4.4 million customers who are signed up for loyalty. So it's grown over a period of time. Just to give you a perspective of analytics behind that loyalty, we do multiple things using that loyalty program, using loyalty program-based analytics, in which we have kind of designed different promotions, which is customer segmentation oriented, which is very well targeted for the purpose. The only thing I can say is it's significantly demanding investment of time with multiple challenges out there. But can I pull that plug off? No, it just doesn't exist. If I move to the e-commerce space, I think from the day go, we will have our analytics program in play to analyze right from the traffic to the shopping behavior and use analytics at a very, very significant granular level to design programs.
Right. So there are a lot of competition is coming in this space, right? Like Jabong is there. There are multiple sites. So how you are seeing to them?
They are one of the competitions.
They are the one of them.
For sure. And we'll play the game as the game comes by. See, the place where analytics will play a role is that how best can you give a customer an experience which is quite different from anybody else. So it's all about making the experience of customer good. Today, most of the e-commerce players are there on the price war. Most of the e-commerce players are there. Our philosophy is not that. We will not go with the price war, for sure. That's one of the fundamental principles. We'll actually come out with some 2 or 3 game-changing ideas on e-commerce play, which will be enabled through analytics.
Right.
So we'll know what Kapil has done in the last 3 months of shopping, and where all has he visited, and what has he been trying to do in terms of those visits, and we'll use that. We do that pretty much similarly for our brick and mortar stores. I mean, if you ever visit our stores, if you are a loyalty member, we target a promotion to you which is based on your buying behavior. We just don't target any promotion on you. That's what we do. On e-commerce space, if Jabong is doing that, we'll try to play their game.
Sure.
Maybe better.
Sure. So I like to add in this. I recently moved from Apollo Munich to Artemis. Artemis is a healthcare organization. And I like to share one good story behind it. I'm doing a POC right now. And I know a little bit big data, I know analytics, but when I landed in the hospital healthcare area, so I found very interesting. So reason is because it's all patient management system. And the first task which I have given, you have to basically track a patient where he is and what all the vitals he carries. And they were expecting I have to do online, real time. So I spoke to a lot of people and they have given the presentation. Right now we are in the POC phase. We are doing POC, and it's a very interesting POC which we are doing is you have been given a small band in the wrist which will be capture all the vitals of your body. And on the real time it will transfer data on the server. And let's say person is discharged and going back to home, still he wants care for some time. He can carry that device for some time, and the data will be come to our server. And we can set the threshold. And whenever any is exceeding threshold, doctors will be alerted immediately. And it is really helping us for the potential diseases, for the potential customers, say patients, and what all the trends are going on. Right? So these kind of analysis we can do. So I feel really, very good, because I am learning a lot of things there, and this is a real-time data first time which I am seeing is. I have done, a lot of analytics previously with the old data. But first time I'm seeing this kind of, analytics in the real-time data. So I like to ask a question with Sunil. Sunil, how your organization is looking this challenge actually? Are you using any tool or?
Okay, so before I go there, just to extend what you're talking about. See, as a business, we all look for a customer. And if you're a customer, then you're a data point. If you just heard what Kapil also said, you're a data point. You are a patient, you have a wristband, and all that which you have for the business, which is, which hospital? Artemis, is like one data point. So data has become a new natural resource, which we all want to now mine and then deliver what we can deliver at best to you as a consumer. So the moment you wake up in the morning, you switch on your mobile. Normally you don't switch it off, so if it had drained out its battery, it would have needed that recharge and then switch it on. From then till you go back to bed one more time, you are inside delivering data to some business or the other, whether it is telecom, whether it is some restaurant, whether it is online portal, wherever. So I think we all are looking at what is your consumer behavior. And basis that behavior, you want to figure out what my services are and how best I can deliver to you better than others. And if you can do it online, real time, nothing like it. If you can do it in probably 24 hours later, still okay. But beyond that, I don't think anybody has the time. So the span of the time of the guy when he's probably coming to you or your website is the time when he thought about you. And if you can't convert that into your customer, you're dead.
True.
So I think that is where we all have to push ourselves to. And obviously, as you asked that, what do we do? See, the first thing you look at is where is your revenue leakage? Where is the guy coming in and going from? So if the going from is stopped, at least he's coming in. And if he can't go off, then at least he stays with you.
Right.
So whether this customer, and we are probably talking about education. I'm in a NIT institute, which is the Education Institute. So the first thing is to attract, and after attracting, convert, and after the conversion, stay on. Because it has to be sticky. So I think we all need to probably do similar kind of things in our own space. So we do monitor the attraction, the conversion, and the retention. And that's kind
all
of
right. Mr. Prasad, you are from the hotel industry.
From the hospitality.
Hospitality, right. So how are you trying to achieve the objective for the organization?
Okay. Before that, I'm not surprised to see that nowadays the analytics is the keyword going around. Yesterday I was present for the interop session and I could see one of the person from BJP, the election campaign, who has been telling about the analytics and how they are able to win over the government. So it's like analytics is the thing. It can make the government, it can fall the government, and it's a part of life for us, everyone. So similarly, for my industry, what the basic analytics thing what we are doing is, see, as a hotel, the main thing in the digital world is the website. So what we basically do on the website is we need to know, we do get a lot of visitors, but out of those visitors, you will get only a fraction of it converting into a booking. So we are struggling, or we are trying to understand why the people are not booking. They visit our website, but they are not booking. Some are booking, some are not. And that's the place we are trying to analyze why the turnovers are happening and why people are booking, and we are trying to innovate and get more booking out of it.
True.
So that's what we are doing it currently. And if you are able to increase the conversion, nothing better than that.
Sure. So I like to ask a question from Harnath. Harnath, you are from insurance industry, and you know that industry is very dynamic and revolve and a lot of compliance things. So how Aviva is basically sticking on a data analytics, because there are dynamic guidelines keep changing, and it demands a lot of inputs. So how are you looking this challenge?
Okay, so before I answer your question, let me just take a step back. I think insurance, as you all know, it's centuries old business. I mean, I think retail you talk about, it's just come in a few decades back. But insurance has been in existence for quite some time. So has the analytics within insurance. So earlier, data was, as you all know, data was available with these organizations. Customers get bound by an insurance company for decades. So as an example, I am a customer. I could be with an insurance company for 30, 40 years, right, throughout the whole lifetime. It's important that for any insurance organization, it is to have a customer retained. So the cost of acquisition of business, as all we know, in majority of the business is very high. What's important is it's important to retain the customer. And when you're talking about retaining the customer, it's about ensuring that the customer is happy with you, he's getting the right services, and he's getting the right kind of product offerings. So when you talk about product offerings, that means the person has to get the right kind of sale which has happened. Let's say the insurance is all about solicitation, right? So somebody has to come and convince you, especially in India. So the awareness has obviously changed over a period of time, but still people have to go and convince, or people are believing in doing research before they buy the insurance policy. Now, when you talk about placing the right kind of product in front of a customer, you can't just go and place any product. It has to be specifically targeted for a certain segment of customers. So let's say it's an online customer, or it's a customer who is, let's say, 20 to 30 years old, or 40 to 50 years old. It all depends on the kind of customer and the kind of needs the person must be having in their own lives. And to reach to a specific product, to a right kind of a segment, you need to have the right kind of analytics done. So you need to know what kind of needs which people would have. You need to know what kind of investment patterns would they really opt for. What could be the real requirements they would have in their life cycle or in their own lives. I think analyzing all of that and accordingly offering a product is very critical for insurance business, especially when you're trying to retain a customer. It's just not that you want to sell a product, forget about it, right? It's a life insurance business. So that's the first part. And just picking on to the point of what Kapil asked about the regulations. So the regulator has become very stringent or the regulations have become very stringent in terms of ensuring that if an insurance company is acquiring a customer, he is persisting with the company, right? And there are regulations which are specific that if the persistency ratio of a company goes below a certain number, you can't. That's something which is not a good business for you, and obviously it hits the revenues of the organization, profitability of the organization, and long sustainability of the organization, right? So there are regulations which are coming up which are clearly stating that the persistency has to be good. It has to be about 70% or 80%, right? There could be specific products where the persistency has to be above 90%, and all for this, because the kind of acquisition, the kind of money the companies are spending for acquiring a customer, they have to eventually get on to profitability if the customer remains with the organization for a longer period. So that's about the right kind of product placement. So the second aspect which usually comes, as I mentioned some time back, is the online space. I think everybody is trying to go online. The retail is going online. Banking is already online. True. Insurance is also going online. Right? So, everybody is trying to get the right kind of customer on board. It's all about persistency, right? So if I'm an informed customer, I know that what I have bought, I would definitely be sticking on to what I've bought, right? And that means that I give the right kind of information to the customer when he's coming onto the website, or the time he hits the website or he comes onto the website, he's able to have a very good journey until he completes his sales process, or maybe he buys a policy, right? So having taken him through the whole process is something which you have to track at every step. So the moment he comes onto the website, from to the time he buys, every step. The whole funnel, the way the funnel is behaving, the way the throughput of funnel is working, every data point has to be tracked. Where is he actually dropping off? So as an example, he is coming onto the first page, he wants to understand a product and he just drops off. So what could be the reason? What could be the deterrent factor for throwing him out, right? So he came to me, as a company, because he wanted to do something with the organization. I mean, he wanted to buy insurance, right, at the end of the day. But why has he actually dropped off? Every data point which is collected today, we treat that as big data, especially on the online space, and we are trying to analyze and figure out how do we really improve on the throughput of the funnel, which is actually eventually driving out the revenues and the new business acquisition for the company. So that's something which we are working on.
Great. Yeah. So my question to you, Mr. Chaudhary, you are from the power sector, right? So how your organization looking this modernization?
Before I put in the point what analytics is doing for the power sector, I would give you a traditional way of how power plants are being maintained, because for us the customer is fixed, that is government. For us, supplier is fixed, that is CIL or Reliance or something like that, who supply us fuel. We generate power and put it into the grid of the government. So for us, we don't have to worry about luring the customers, understanding their behavior and profiling their behavior and then selling the plan. For us, what is important is that our power plant should be running, because downtime is going to be very, very disastrous from business point of view, from reputation point of view, and of course from revenue point of view. So take an example, what happens in traditional way. Supposing the bearing of the turbine, that is getting old, and due to the friction, it has started generating temperature. And there is data sensors, data acquisition system sensors, which senses the temperature. And when the temperature reaches a threshold point, it alerts you that there is something wrong with the bearing. Now what do you do then? The moment you find that it has gone beyond the threshold, you have hardly any time to investigate the root cause of that. Because if that increases a little more, then it could be, probably it will force the shutdown. So actually, before it forces the shutdown, you put an alert notice to the department, and then you shut down the system for some time, try to investigate what has happened. What you find out that probably the cooling pipe, which was cooling this particular bearing, has actually reduced the flow of water. Now irony is that there is another data acquisition sensor which is also sensing the flow of water, but that has also not crossed the threshold, so it has not given any sense. So ultimately what happens, that the power plant has to be shut down, the root cause has to be investigated, the entire water cooling system has to be changed, or else bearing has to be changed, and then we shut down. Now take the analytics part of it. Now consider we have got the sensors, same sensors, but there is a analytic tool which is seeing the pattern of increase of temperature. The normal temperature around that bearing, supposing it started with 10 and it started rising 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and cutoff was 40. So it is finding on hourly basis it finds the pattern of how the temperature is rising. And then it predicts that in coming 2 days time or 3 days time of continuous operation, it is going to cross the threshold. There is another sensor of the water flow which is showing that the flow of water towards this particular bearing is reducing because of some problem at some end. And the pattern is that flow is either reducing or is less than what is required to keep the bearing cool. Now if these two information are continuously taken by the tool and it predicts that probably because of the water circulation problem, this bearing is going to get overheated and so it will force the power plant shutdown. Now taking this particular information, if I attend to the motors, if I attend to the cooling line, I will be able to pull this particular scenario for more than a month when my plant shutdown is schedule when I can take on this particular problem without any forced shutdown, without any loss of business. That is what is the power of the analytics in the power sector. I hope I have made it clear.
Yeah. Mukesh, there are so many ways of doing analytics, right? So how your organization doing the predictive analysis?
Interesting one. I mean, we've not reached the predictive stage. I mean, that's an honest answer. Well, there have been some attempts on it. Ours is a game of significant amount of data. Analytics also comes into play.
I guess you are using Cognos.
No, we're not.
You're not.
We don't talk products here. No, firstly, I mean, that to answer the second question, we don't use Cognos, we don't use tool. In fact, I'm in a completely outsourced model.
I see.
So I don't even own the
Interesting.
tool per se. So it's a third party based, and it's cloud hosted analytics done by a third party for me, using open source systems and Hadoop at the back.
Okay.
So that's where it goes. I mean, I don't use one of those tools. But just to give you answer on predictive piece, predictive analytics is a stage where you will graduate to. We are currently only about 24 months old in the game to start doing statistical regression analysis, which gives us significantly much better information than what we would do it otherwise based on a gut feel.
Okay.
So that piece certainly has started happening. 9 out of the 10 cases, the use cases, you actually think of in a hypothesis and validate through analytics. 9 out of 10 cases. It's very rare that you'll come out with a new idea using analytics. 1 out of 10 cases will be where you'll see a trend which is slightly different. And I can tell you we are in the early stages of it, and it has required a significant investment, more of time than of money to use that word, because you need people who can actually see through those trends in a significant amount of data.
All right.
Given the size of the
Sure.
So predictive is still a way to go.
Sure. I'd like to ask Sunil, there are very dynamic, economical conditions now these days in the country. So how your organization is basically doing the predictive analysis? Are you doing any predictive analysis, seeing to the economical condition of India?
Okay, wish I could predict and we all knew what is going to happen tomorrow, day after, maybe months ago. Anyway, see, it's a good thing to, have some kind of a system which enables you to have some kind of a information which is presented to you in a form which you can probably understand or think of an insight. See, it was, I think, if we go back a little, there were so many things which are falling down. But one apple fell on one fellow's head, and that fellow decided there is something wrong with this, and I must figure this out. And that was the insight he got. And then he went on behind it and created the gravitational and the gravity force, etc., etc. I hope we remember this young man, right? So, see, you will have enough data. And I think once the ERPs came in, I think they brought in one good part, that there was a data capturing which started. Then this effectiveness came in. After that, because there were processes around this data, you were doing some kind of information gathering, generating some MIS reports. You started taking some better decisions which helped you to become efficient. So from efficiency, from effectiveness, you became efficient. Now came the story, okay, now what more? What more can I do? So can I innovate out of this? Now, innovation is a part which probably it will hit you if you can actually interpret what you are seeing. Now possibly, like I have heard, many of you would have heard also, that there is a glass which has half water and the half is empty. But someone other there said, no, it is half full of air also. So that's a third way to look at the same damn thing. So that is what I think the predictivity will come, not just with data, not with just tools, but this human mind, and thank God human mind, because we don't want to become redundant. So it is very, very important that whatever analysis is coming in front of us through tools is based on what data got punched. What trends we were able to sense, what parameters or data points we thought as business leaders we must capture, which will probably help us later on. Then all these things which came as big data, social, mobility, all that piece, together, whatever I can cull out. But cull out may happen only because of, as Mukesh rightly said, the hypothesis you thought. It may come true, it may not come true. If it comes true, great, you talk, yes, I am a fantastic boy and I do all this predictive analysis and I live with it. But yes, tools are helping, it will go, but are we doing it 100%? No. We are a little far away. The data is there, the information is there, the tools are there. We are kind of thinking and creating new things. If you look at our recent products, they are coming from there, that analysis only. But yes, I think there's a long journey. It's not a stop. We all have to really, really work hard to create those kind of information systems, analytical pieces, and thank God, the human mind. We need to really apply that to come out with new things.
Prasad, in your industry, any impact of the economical changes or regarding to the predictive analysis?
Yes. See, my industry, that's a hospitality industry. 5 or 6 years back, the industry was really booming. And to get a 5-star hotel booking, you may have to pay something around 20,000 rupees. I mean, that was the rate which has been going on. And when the economy went down, now you can get a 5-star hotel room for as low as 3,000 to 4,000 rupees. So what happens is, because of this low demand, we have to strongly depend on the analytics. And we have to see that when the demand rises, you have to slowly increase the rate. When the demand goes down, you have to reduce the rate. So that's where we have to, I mean, we are fully depending on the analytics, but again, as Sunil said, it all depends. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we win.
Sure. Harnath, in insurance industry, like, I think this plays a key role. Yeah. So my same question to you is, like, how insurance is dealing with it?
So I think we've been using predictive analytics for some time now. Primarily, as I said some time back, to launch a new product in the market, it's important to know what would really sell, right? And whether it would be profitable or not, and whether it would have customer, you'll be able to hold customers back or not. I think that's critical for any success of a product when you launch a new product, insurance product for customers. Second piece, which obviously we've been practicing or have been seeing, is you have agents. So as an example, as an insurance company, you may want to start a new channel of distribution itself. So you may want to figure out what would really sell, or what is the right way of distributing the product to customers, and whether the channel itself would be profitable or not. Do I really invest capex, or do I really spend money on building up a new channel which would eventually bring me more revenues and hence profitability? I think that's something which again has to be happening through predictive analytics, and we've been doing this for quite some time. And we have seen some sort of success, and obviously it all depends on the economy, right? So economy itself is changing a lot. There have been ups and downs, so it all depends on how many data points you are capturing when you're doing predictive analytics. It's just not about the organization itself; it's about the economical conditions also which you have to consider while doing the predictive analytics. So.
Okay, so sir, you are in the power sector, so how power sector is basically doing the predictive analysis?
I gave you an example that was basically predicting what is going to happen in the next 7-8 days,
right,
or another few days, and based on that you take action. So that is the real utility there. Predictive analysis is the real utility. But as far as your question of economic downturn,
true,
and the effect on predictive analytics is concerned,
right,
I see. That
your industry is most affected by
basically, let's find out a general scenario.
Right.
When will I go to Nirmal Baba type of person to predict about my future or what is going to happen tomorrow? It is only when I find myself to be in trouble,
right,
that I want to go to some astrologer to find out, tell me which stone I should wear that my days will come back. So predictive analytics and the crunch of fund,
right,
both go hand in hand.
Hand in hand. That's right. Like economy play a key
absolutely
role.
Right. So whenever you are in trouble, you try to find out, is there any better way of churning out from what we have,
right,
and improving the system. And that is where it drives you to innovation. It drives you to see that, is there anything else within the ocean? I am in the ocean. Is there anything by which I will be able to take out something more and be alive there for some more time before somebody comes to rescue us?
Right.
So predictive analytics and economics, I think they are inversely proportional. And both are very, very deeply related with each other.
What I feel is like in this game, out of the box something is required, right? Because we know that how the industry working, we know the trends, or probably we may not know, so we can load it and we can find out we can put the different parameters. So what we have to do exactly, how we can basically do something out of the box. So Mukesh, like I want to understand, like from the retail point of view, are you thinking something out of the box, like which may be maybe one of the great help of the organization to ramping himself?
Out of the box based on analytics.
Analytics, yes.
Certainly, yes. See, when you talk of new models, ours is a very simple example. Once I know a cluster of consumers which provide me a pattern of behavior, I can try and think to go beyond in terms of impacting that behavior. That's how you start thinking. Now, can you do that in a brick and mortar space? Is far more difficult. But once you have a data, it will tell you a trend in terms of what to do. We have tried experimenting something on it. Let me tell you, most of them failed. One or two succeeded, but most of them failed. So when you start doing things which are
I really love to hear this thing. Somebody is accepting the failure actually. Yeah.
And we can measure it, because that's the power of analytics. Because you see what's the action that you have taken based on the insight, and you plant something, and then you see an outcome of it.
Yeah.
I'm talking an outcome in terms of the ROI basis, in terms of the cost of new promotion versus what. So, and one of our hypotheses, or one of the theory that we went by, was that probably my data, the history of the data was too small to start predicting. Probably one of the reasons was that. So most of them actually failed based on what we started thinking as our new hypothesis should be based on. A couple of them succeeded, which is very interesting to see. Just to give you a real fact, see, it's not only what the actions that you take which can impact consumer behavior. There are other factors which impact his behavior. So you can control only few of them, and based on that only you can take an action. True. So, not everything will succeed, but you can tend to. So you start thinking differently once the data comes out.
Correct. So this is, please.
A couple of examples. I used to visit Barco's restaurant probably once a month, because my daughter liked that, few of these things. Over a period of about 3 months, there was gap. And one fine day, my daughter got the SMS, happy birthday today, and you have 20% discount at our restaurant today. Right? Though we had no intention of visiting the restaurant, but that analytics that they had, the profiling that they had done, they ensured that my full family visits Barco's that day. That is the strength. That out-of-box thinking kind of thing. I'll give another example. The railways, they started allowing e-ticketing on SMS. It was a completely great innovation, great out-of-box thinking, that why people should take a printout and then go there. I remember once I forgot to take the printout, and at Nizamuddin station, I suddenly realized that I don't have that, and I had half an hour time to catch the train, and I was running around for cyber cafe where I can take the print out of that. Now you have got the mobile with you, you are carrying a ticket. What's there? Even if that got deleted, you can again generate, that is what is out-of-box thinking.
Right.
And out-of-box thinking, again with analytics, is very, very possible. And basically what you have to do is to do user profiling as to what they like.
Right.
I land with my family at Bangalore airport, and I get an SMS for Meru Cabs, welcome to Bangalore with family. They probably did the profiling on me, and you have got 200 rupees discount on the Meru cab that will take you to your residence in Bangalore. I had no other option than to choose Meru Cabs, because the moment I came out, there were plenty of options with me, but I went to Meru Cabs. That is how they...
Right. Short question to Sunil. Yeah.
Just to reply to what KK has said, we all are talking pro analytics, that analytics is making our lives simple, all those things, since we are on the one side of the business. If you stand in the other side of the business as a consumer, if you look at the analytics, I think it's a bit scary. That I think that you are encroaching the privacy of the consumer. For example, if you, as Mukesh has just in the initial discussion, he has mentioned, I will know when Kapil comes to my Mega Mart and what he is going to buy and what he will not buy. So it's like, you are trying to influence the customers' likes and dislikes, and you never know when you will fall into a funny situation where the customer does not want to buy a particular thing, but you try to force it onto him.
Correct. In this whole
Fully
game,
agree. In fact, this point is a point of discussion during the security forums also.
Right.
As to how user profiling is going to affect the privacy of the user. But I'm sure this is not the forum where we need to.
Purely for the profiling, we only take the mobile number and the name. We don't do anything more than that.
Okay.
So, and it's a highly secret information. Try and get it out of our system for yourself.
Okay.
You'll not get it.
You track customers, huh?
we track your buying behavior. That's important.
Correct.
But yeah, privacy is key. It encroaches your privacies. On the e-commerce side, it's far worse because you can actually track where you're visiting and all that
Right.
stuff. And brick and mortar is there. So we don't even track your age. We don't do demographics at all.
Right.
Our business model is not that because this is your age and this is what you should look for. Our business model is this is what we sell. This is what our USP is. This is what you do with us. These are the options that you can have. I'm not saying the privacy is not involved. And we follow all the privacy rules. You can. That's just to be defensive.
So my last question to Sunil is, as you mentioned, there are failures as well because so gamut, like the game is the source. What is the right source of the data? Because in the organization, if you look the data, it's flowing from everywhere, right? So how do you handle it?
If you can't handle it, mishandle it. So, okay, jokes apart. See, I think when we were kids and when we started learning computers, we figured out there was something very interesting term which landed on our table. It's called GIGO. So that was garbage in, garbage out. And that was a very standard kind of thing where the data was very structured.
Right.
And everything was probably known that in this field I'll get name, in this field I get age, in this field I get address, and etc. But now this structure has become completely unstructured.
Right.
So now with all these great things which are happening all around us, and this recent, tagline which I'm reading all across, live for likes. If you followed that's the way the consumer has also changed. That is the way that data points are getting created, and the amount of data which gets generated is humongous. I mean, we have been talking about all prediction that 20 billion devices, internet of everything, and everything is generating data.
Right.
And as I said some time back, the moment you wake up, the first thing you pick up is a phone. How many times do you pick something else, which may have much better things around you?
Correct.
But you first think, I think you pick up your phone.
So I like to Harnath. You carry on, please. Yeah.
I was not going anywhere apart from the data and accuracy. Okay, what I was saying was that these data points which are getting generated, as you rightly said, how do you get to put them together to analyze?
True.
I think that is where the data scientist comes in. And as again some time back said, thank God there is a human mind still required.
Right. So how to load it, how to unstructured, how to structure data.
Yes. So that is where the new breed and the new animal which has come as data scientist. I think that's the key role, and I think that will be the key function as we go forward to identify insights from the huge data which is getting created. Right. Harnath, all yours.
Right.
Thank you.
You like to add something in this?
I think I would not really want to emphasize on your specific questions of how do you really manage the data. That's something that I think we are paid for, and we've been doing that, right? So I think one of the examples I wanted to share, and certainly any of the analytics forum where insurance is being a part, is incomplete if I don't take this example. We have recently seen a lot of changes in terms of the way analytics is being used, especially on the pricing piece. So if you have, I mean, obviously most of you have bought insurance, for yourself and for your cars as well, and the typical factors which really influence insuring a car is the model of the car, or maybe how old is the car, what is the what is the make, etc. But times are changing, right? So our parent company in the UK has done something, and obviously it's beyond POC. It's actually live. Is all about putting up a small device in the cars and identifying the patterns of driving behavior, right? So the way customers are driving the car itself. So somebody's racing up, somebody's slowing down, somebody's taking turns, etc. Basis the very patterns of driving, the data which is collected is actually is going to derive the pricing itself. So if you're a risky driver, you're going to pay higher premium. If you're a very normal driver, if you're a 60-year-old man with very moderate way of driving, I think your premium is going to be low. So there's a lot of differentiation which is coming in because of data, and people are actually using these techniques to ensure that more and more differentiation is coming, and more you're able to pull more customers on board, because this is all about the right kind of pricing and the right kind of justification being done to the customer's money. So I thought I must share this example with you guys.
So I'm done from my side. I like to open this session for the audience in case if they have any queries or questions, they can. Anybody like to ask any questions? Yeah.
Now the example you just took, have you rolled it out in India as well?
I think I think there have been discussions about it, but in India we are a live company, so we don't have this flexibility. But there are people who are talking about it. But in India, it's going to be slightly a challenging. I think there would be certain challenges in implementing this because the kind of market we have in India is kind of different from the mature markets. So we may take some more time to reach there, but certainly I think people are talking about it now at this point in time.
Yeah. We can drive the way you want it.
And still pay the same premium.
Anybody else? Yeah. Pradeep sir.
My question to Harinath, this lot of analytics pertains with the data within the organization. And for your particular sector, do you also depend on the data available in the social media?
Yes, we do. I think one of the examples which I took some time back is the funnel throughput. So the customer is coming online and he's actually logging off. So how much of the hit which is coming onto my website is actually bouncing back, and how much is actually getting converted? That's something we are tracking.
Right.
Over and about that, anybody who is liking our campaigns, right? So we are trying to figure out, what kind of a customer who's actually coming and liking our campaigns, who is actually getting converted from campaign to the actual product, right? So that's something which is happening, and campaigns are actually happening on Facebook and Twitter. Third piece which we are also looking at is sentiment analysis on the social media. So anybody is having any challenge, goes online, wants to put something on the online and may complain. We are tracking those comments online and figuring out whether we can actually solve those problems. So obviously it reduces a lot of noise, and you can actually protect your brand in the online space. So it's all about those small efforts, but I think we are yet to mature as an organization in terms of doing more and more analytics on the social media.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. I like to say thank you to the panelists and to the audience for hearing us. Thank you.